Hello there, welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Geft or Gete. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday in the United States vowed that his administration would trace the account of individuals who took away ill-gotten oil money, freeze, recover and persecute the culprit. Reacting to questions from members of Nigerians in diaspora organization in the United States and Canada at the Nigerian Embassy in Washington, D.C. on the third day of his visit, the president lamented that corruption in Nigeria has virtually developed into a culture where honest people are abused. According to him, 250,000 barrels per day of Nigerian crude are being stolen and people sell and put the money into individual accounts, adding that the United States and other developed countries are helping us to trace such accounts. The president, who expressed skepticism on the existence of oil subsidy, said if subsidy was removed, transport, housing and food prices would go out of control and the average worker would suffer untold hardship. President Muhammadu Buhari has said his government is ready to negotiate with terror group Boko Haram if the talks will lead to the freedom of over 200 girls of the government secondary school in Chibok, Borno State, who were kidnapped in the school over a year ago. Boko Haram stormed the GSS Chibok on April 14, 2014 and abducted over 278 female students of the school who were preparing for their final examinations. About 58 of the girls managed to escape at different times. Buhari, who is rounding off a 4-day official visit to the U.S., said this while speaking during an interview with Christina Amanpour on CNN Tuesday from New York. The president, who noted that people needed to be cautious about the credibility of various Boko Haram groups, however, declared that the government will embrace any process that will lead to the freedom of the girls. The president, however, warned that the country needed to be cautious about the authenticity of claims of any group calling for talks with the government. He added that no one, not even in the ruling All Progressives Congress, who might have amassed wealth illegally, would be spared in his government's anti-corruption crusade. Buhari believed that it was too early for anyone to pass a judgment on his performance in office, saying who could be held by his promises. He said he will be delighted if his host, U.S. President Barack Obama, could change his mind and visit Nigeria in his upcoming visit to Africa. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday said priority must be given to the resettlement of people who were displaced internally as a result of the activities of the Boko Haram sect in the northeastern part of Nigeria. He put the number of the affected persons at over 1 million, according to a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina. The president spoke during a meeting he had with representatives of the World Bank, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the World Health Organization in Washington. Additionally, quoted the president as saying that apart from rebuilding the affected region in terms of infrastructure, priority must also be given to the IDPs. The presidential spokesman ordered that during the meeting, the World Bank unfolded a package which would see it spending up to $2.1 billion in rebuilding the badly devastated area ravaged by for the past 6 years by the Boko Haram insurgency. Additional ordered that the WHO is also to invest $300 million on immunization against malaria in Nigeria, while the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will collaborate with the Dangote Foundation to ensure that the country maintains its zero polio case record of the past 1 year. If the effort is sustained for another 2 years, the presidential spokesman said Nigeria would be declared fully free of polio. New Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Olonisaki, has assumed office with a pledge of a renewed commitment of the armed forces in confronting terrorism, oil theft and other criminal vices threatening national security. He made the pledge shortly after taking over from former Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade in Abuja. Olonisaki is demanding increased commitment from officers and men of the armed forces and assured them that training and capacity building will be given top priority. Defense correspondent Pa Samuel reports.
After about 18 months in office as Chief of Defense Staff, it's time for Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade to hand over to a new man. He congratulated his successor on his appointment and urged him to brace up to the challenges of the fight against terrorism. Bade, however, noted that the task ahead of the new CDS was surmountable.
Let me begin by congratulating the incoming CDS and the service chiefs for their well-deserved appointments. They are all coming on board at a very critical time in the life of our nation and the armed forces of Nigeria. This is so because of the security challenges occasioned by the activities of Boko Haram sect and other criminal elements. The task before you is tough, but not insurmountable. I therefore wish you the very best as you settle down to address the nation's security challenges.
The new Chief of Defense Staff, Abayomi Olonishakin, in his address says he will pay closer attention to tackling insurgency and other criminal activities in the country.
While appreciating our collective effort, it is instructive to state that we must redouble our resolve at addressing these security challenges. The country expects nothing less from us, and I am certainly going to demand more from every member of the Nigerian Armed Forces.
He revealed that new strategy in information gathering will be introduced to help stem the tide of insecurity across the country.
The Defense Headquarters will provide the necessary leadership, direction, and coordination of the military efforts. We will therefore be proactive in providing the very necessary strategic direction and support for implementation by the services in order to achieve the desired end state in the counterinsurgency and other operations in the country.
Before his retirement from the military, former Chief of Defense Staff Alex Bade served the nation for 38 years, 6 months, and 2 weeks. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Earlier, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Osman Jibrin, handed over the mantle of leadership in the Navy to his successor, Rear Admiral Iborete Ibaz. Osman built out some of his achievements while in office, to include the reduction in crude oil theft from 2.4 million barrels per month to 300 barrels per month in June 2015. For his part, the new Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Iborete, promised to tackle all forms of maritime crimes across the waterways.
On my assumption of office on the 20th January 2014, gentlemen, you can now say today is 21st. The nation was faced with a myriad security challenges, which also affected the maritime environment. The then President, Commander-in-Chief, directed and mandated that the Navy should reduce crude oil theft and other security challenges in our waters. With the help of the Almighty Allah and commitment of our officers and ratings, we were able to reduce losses from crude oil theft, which used to be 2.4 million barrels per month, to about 300 barrels in the month of June 2015.
The negative impact of maritime crimes on the nation's economy is severe and cannot be allowed to continue. During my tenure, the service will frontally confront crude oil theft and other criminal activities in the maritime environment with all the resources at our disposal. We must collectively strive to realize our dreams of building a credible Navy capable of discharging its constitutional roles and assigned tasks in a sustainable, efficient, and effective manner, as encapsulated in the revised Nigerian Navy Transformation Plan 2012-2020.
A federal high court in Abuja has refused to grant an interim order stopping the appointment or selection of Senate Minority Leader pending the determination of a suit challenging the right of former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio, to aspire for the position. The plaintiffs Alaye Pedro and Okechukwu Ibe had in their ex-parte application indicated that Akpabio had been tipped for the position in breach of the Senate standing order, which forbids a first-term senator from any principal office of the Senate. But Justice Gabriel Kolawole, after hearing the plaintiff's lawyer, B. Akomolafe, noted that the plaintiffs are not members of the Senate and therefore lacked the local standing to file the suit. The judge then adjourned the main suit till October 5 and opted to return the case file to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, who will reassign same to another judge when the court resumes from its ongoing vacation. Senate Presidents Bukola Saraki and Akpabio are the first and second respondents, or other senators elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party from the South were also listed on the charge sheet. The Inspector General of Police has assured the Governor of Plateau State of the continuous police commitment in order to allow for peace and development in the Middle Belt state. Plateau State, which was recently hit with a twin bomb explosion that consumed over 40 lives, has been on the receiving end of communal clashes in the struggle for arable and grazing lands between herdsmen and local farmers. Governor Simon Lalong, who received the IG in his office, made some requests to the police. The report.
According to the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arasi, 13 bombs have been detonated in Plateau State since the issues of insurgents began in the country lately. While commiserating with the Plateau governor on the loss of lives due to the recent bomb attacks, he assured that his men are totally committed and ready to work with the state to ensure a peaceful environment where the dividends of democracy can be delivered.
To come and first commiserate with you about the incident that happened about 2 weeks ago. I was very, very worried when it happened because we've had about 13 cases of bomb incidents since the insurgency started. This one that came was like an aberration because it was something we thought we had been able to settle it, and I know you are just trying to settle down to governance in the state when the incident happened.
However, the IG queried why some of his men were attacked during the last explosions when they went in to help the injured. The irate youths who attacked the police also went ahead to burn down some churches within their vicinity.
And secondly, there was some reaction from some indigents of the state when it happened. My officers who were on rescue mission, they started hauling missiles at them, and I felt that that was something that was out of the ordinary because they were supposed to go and assist the victims of the incident. So I decided that apart from talking to the officers and men of the police command, I should also have an interactive sections with strategic stakeholders in the state. And,
on his part, Governor Simon Lalong requested for more police presence in the southern part of the state, where he said daily attacks have become a daily routine, adding that the state is doing its best to ensure total peace is achieved within its borders.
Grateful for that opportunity. We're grateful for the concern police is showing. After the bomb blast, you come, I'm sure you have listened. So the next thing is action. We will do our best to cooperate with the police, and we'll also ensure that we get Plateau back to the home of peace and tourism. So that is the only way that can help us to also execute our programs for the people of Plateau State. Once more, thank you for coming, and may God bless you as you get back to your various destinations.
Highlight of the visit was the presentation of gifts by the governor and the police boss.
Reactions have continued to trail the dissolution of local government chairmen in Plateau State. The chairman of the councils, who had obtained a court order restraining the governor and his representatives from sacking them, are crying foul of fighting to ensure that they regain their offices. A Plateau State correspondent has more in this report presented from our studios.
Speaking on behalf of the council chairman at the Plateau Police Command, the Secretary of Argon and the Chairman of Mangu LGA, Caleb Mutfawang, stated that the parties to the suits that initiated the restraining court order included the State Attorney General of the Federation, the State House of Assembly, and he argued that the position of the state government that it has not appointed a State Attorney General before the dissolution of the LGA voided the action of the state government.
It's the Attorney General of the Federation, the Attorney General of Plateau State, and the Plateau State House of Assembly. Now let me say this, that the office of the Attorney General, whether at the state or at the national level, is a constitutional office. It never ceases to exist. And so even if you are going to sue the governor or the president, it usually would be served through the Attorney General.
Mutfawang said the matter in question restrained Governor Lalong from dissolving the LGAs in the state. This, according to him, informed their visit to the police commissioner. He says the action of the governor has prevented them from performing their constitutional duties.
Now, the court order is very specific, restraining the government, all its agents, privies, and anybody connected with government from doing anything that will amount to tampering with the tenure of elected local government councils before the expiry of their tenure. And that also means that the House of Assembly cannot consider the list of caretaker committees because that will be in contempt of the court order.
He added that the council chairmen are hopeful that when the courts return from vacation, it will adjudicate in their favor.
Now let me make this very clear, that this issue is not about the council chairman. It's about the rule of law. It's about good governance. It's about respecting the mandate and wishes of the people of Plateau State. It's not about the council chairman. And therefore, what will happen if this impunity continues is left for the people to decide. But I also believe that when the court returns from its vacation, they will also take appropriate measures to ensure that the sanctity of the court is not trampled upon.
It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break. Please stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man. You don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. Now, do not forget that for more information on CoreTV News, you can reach us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News, on Twitter at CoreTV News NG, and on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, with a space news. The immediate past Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ade Abolunri, has formally handed over to Abdullahi Muhammad. The elaborate ceremony saw Abolunri urging NSCDC officers and personnel to sustain the integrity and credibility of an agency he built in 10 years. Masarie reports that the new Commandant General was until his appointment as Assistant Commandant General and Head of Procurement Department.
Today, Dr. Ade Abolunri is bowing out and is handing over to his son, Mohammed Ghana, the new Commandant General. Please put your hands together for the new Commandant General.
It was an elaborate event at the NSCDC Academy with scores of officers and men in attendance. That is how one would describe the handing over ceremony and change of guard from the old to the new. It is the first time a ceremony like this will be held in the NSCDC since its establishment 10 years ago. Another significant event was an extensive tour of infrastructure and facilities, which is followed by a command performance by a select few. Then it was time for speeches, with the former CG taking time to highlight his achievements in office. Abolurin also gave a final charge on the need to maintain good conduct.
Will remain very civil and civilized people. I'm also handing over to you those to represent the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps on a permanent basis in the International Civil Defense Organization. I'm handing over to you a cream of officers that are highly vibrant, highly resourceful, very industrious, very articulate, very agile, very energetic. I'm good to go. Are you good to go? Good to go? Good to go? I'm good to go. So you can see that there is no old man among them at all. There is no expired person among them at all.
Finally, the new man in charge of the Corps stepped up to say a few words. He promised to consolidate the gains of the past leadership.
So we better wake up and buckle up for the battle ahead. I'm assuring you that I've been trained by the CG and I'm well exposed. He has trained me in different countries, and I'm assuring you that I will use that experience I had and that knowledge that I have to make sure that I move the forward.
The former CG may be bidding farewell to active service, but officers and men of the Corps are of the view that his expertise will be required from time to time, even after the final pull-out parade slated for next week. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
News just reaching us says that the President of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, was a few minutes ago responding to questions of Nigerians in diaspora at the U.S. Institute of Peace. This is coming during his first visit to the United States since taking office. He has given an explanation of what his administration has done so far and what he hopes to do. I will bring you details in our subsequent news bulletins. Justice Gabriel Kolawole of the Federal High Court has granted bail on self-recognizance to the former head of service, Stephen Oronsai. He also granted bail to the second accused person, Orion Shaw Affair, in the sum of 50 million naira, with two sureties who have a landed property in Abuja. Justice Kolawole, however, ordered the accused persons to deposit their international passports with the court registrar as part of their bail conditions. Oronsai is facing a 24-count charge bordering on fraud and money laundering accounting to 1.9 billion naira when he was head of service between 2009 and 2010. Judicial correspondent Basia Okafo has more in this report presented from our studios.
Oronsai was on July 13 formally arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission before a federal high court in Abuja on the 24 counts of money laundering. The court allowed him to go home on personal recognition, but to return to court on July 21 when his bail application will be heard. At the resumed hearing of the matter on Tuesday, his counsel Kanwa Gabi asked the court to grant him bail on self-recognizance. But prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs opposed the application, arguing that it will set a bad precedent. In a ruling, Justice Kolawole upheld the argument of the defense counsel and ordered that the accused persons be rearrested if they fail to meet their bail condition after July 23.
Well, first and foremost, we believe Mr. Oronsai is innocent, and we will, I won't say we are happy or unhappy. The law has taken its course. He's a responsible Nigerian. been given bail on its own recognition. The file was sent to the judge by the chief judge as a vacation judge. After the vacation, the chief judge will reassign the case to any.
Before Tuesday's hearing, the anti-graft agency had alleged that one of Arosai's accomplices in the alleged crime, Abdul Rashid Maina, is at large. But Maina counsel Esther Ozoma appeared in court to debunk the allegation. She informed the court that EFCC had not invited Maina for questioning on the said crime. EFCC counsel Rotimi Jacobs, however, insisted that Maina is in Dubai and had been evading justice. The trial proper is slated for October 5.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has concluded plans to commence the probe of the former President Goodluck Jonathan with investigations into the financial transactions of his ministers and aides. Reports hazard that the chairman of the commission, Mr. Ibrahim Lamode, has already directed that all petitions against former public officers at the federal level should be forwarded to him to be acted upon. Findings showed that former ministers, special advisors, heads of parastatals and those of other federal government agencies would be invited for interrogation by the EFCC in a few weeks from now. Also, that the anti-graft agency would focus on those whose establishment attracted huge allocations from the federal government when Jonathan was in power. Such ministers and agencies it was lent included Defense, Petroleum Resources and Power. As the search carried out on the house of former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki last week, while the DSS continues to attract reactions from Nigerians, human rights lawyer Femi Falana says the action of Secret Service was in order. Falana, who made the assertion at the function in Lagos, insisted that the search warrant produced by the DSS at the house of Dasuki legitimizes the step taken by security outfit.
While that was going on, he contacted the media that there was a Gestapo operation in his residence. The SSS and waylaid his house and they were trying to be funny. And everybody picked it up on the internet. Oh, this new government, you have come with your dictatorial policies. Why are you doing this? But the following day, the man involved came out himself to see that those who came to my house brought a warrant signed by a magistrate. And I said, wow, does this man know the implication of what he was saying? He was simply telling Nigerians, I defy the law. And nothing can happen to me. And that is our country. You can't do that. If you do that in the US, the house will be polished.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has been described as one of the failed agencies of government. This is against the backdrop of the warning handed down by the Apex Bank to all banks and deposit houses to publish the names of debtors of non-performing loans by August 1st. Ebuloma Oguntoye met with some experts and brought back this report.
In reaction to the call by the Central Bank of Nigeria to publish the names of debtors in national dailies, one question that has been raised is how effective the publication of the names will be in returning the loans that have not been serviced over the years. While some are of the opinion the publication might morally push the debtors to pay, others feel the Central Bank of Nigeria is the cause of the problem of the financial institution of the country.
I think from moral perspective, we are not talking from the law, but from the position of the law now. Let's talk from the perspective of moral suasion. I think it's capable of sending some signals to them. One, image is about everything in business. If your image is destroyed, then you have no basis for you to continue in business. Neither have you got any basis to continue to thrive. So if your name is published as a bad debtor, then you know that the next thing that will follow is litigation. And members of the public, we're talking about the ordinary people now, they say, oh, so this company, after all, is a debtor or is a chronic debtor.
If these loans have become non-performing, there is a way out. There should be foreclosure. The foreclosure should not first be interceded with publish the names of all those who owe you. I think it's just an attempt to create the impression that there is a dynamic workforce in the central bank, whereas, if anything, the central bank is probably one of the failed agencies of government in Nigeria.
Asking about the effect of these loans on the functionality of the banks and the country at large, the experts had this to say.
If it's insignificant, then it won't have much effect on the economy. But if it is significant, I hope it won't be another crisis within the financial institutions. But I'd like to think that the banks, as presently constituted with their balance sheets and with the funds available to them, they will not likely go down.
Well, put it this way, ultimately, you will have a repeat of what happened in, I think, was it 2008 or so, when at the end of the day, the central bank itself printed more money, I think about 5 trillion naira of fresh notes, put it in the system because the banks had a lot of non-performing loans as well. And of course, the impact of that strategy was to expand the liquidity base of the country, of the economy, and that had its own ripple effects in terms of instigating a higher rate of inflation, of instigating a higher cost of funds, because you will notice that in the last 2 years or so, the cost of funds have remained in excess of 20%, while inflation has remained well over 8%. These are indices which are totally out of gear for companies or for countries where there is best practice in the issue of management of banks.
Whether or not the CBN will live up to its threat of publication is another question August 1st, 2015 will answer. Ebulomo Ogutoye, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has once again reaffirmed the commitment of his administration to a robust and health care delivery system to the people of the state. Governor Ahmed stated this while declaring open the conference put together by the Kwara State Health Insurance Scheme. The theme supported health insurance, research and result. Rashid reports.
The governor, who spoke through his deputy, Peter Kisira, stressed that the state government, as part of its plan to ensure the accessibility of healthcare facilities to all Kwarans within a 500-meter radius all over the state. He added that the state government has already embarked on both rural and urban awareness to enlighten the people on the availability of the health insurance scheme in the state.
It is imperative to pay attention to the health of our people. This is why health remains a priority for my administration. As you are aware, the country has adopted universal health coverage with the overall objective of ensuring that the majority of the people, especially those at the grassroots level, can access quality and affordable health care. As laudable as UHC is, the objective can only be attained with adequate funding of healthcare delivery services. In a bid to ensure sustainability, Kwara State government enacted a law known as Community Health Insurance Law in October 2012 to prioritize the provision of healthcare to low-income groups through the community health insurance.
World Bank's representative at the event, Tayo Fashakin, says though the scheme is a wonderful attempt at addressing the health needs of the people, he however frowned at the way the scheme is being run. He added that a reform process must be put in place to ensure that the funds earmarked for the scheme is put to proper use.
You can't talk about insurance without talking about trust. The citizens have to trust their government. The citizens have to trust that the services that they say they will provide, that they are actually providing at the end of the day, which leads us to a very important point about, transparency and accountability. The politicians are accountable to the people by making sure that they get the health care that they promised them during the campaign. The health care provider is also accountable to the citizens that they serve by making sure that when they come, they actually get, that service at the end of the day. The other thing I want to speak to is that they say if you continue to do the same thing the same way, and you expect a better result, then there must be something wrong somewhere.
Emir Shonga Haliru Yahya, under whose domain the pilot part of the scheme is cited, says the initiative is a good innovation, urging all traditional rulers to embrace the scheme and recommend it to their people.
Our traditional structures and leadership play an important role in mobilizing communities and stimulating buy-in at community and government levels. I'm pleased to say that traditional leadership will continue to provide unflinching support and commitment for the state-supported health insurance in Kwara State to enable the vulnerable groups in the society access affordable quality health care. This project is unique in making sure it keeps the community and its leadership at the center of the project. The community leaders are fully informed and they're used to mobilize their subjects. You don't come from outside to want to mobilize them. You use leaders to mobilize them and you watch and guide what's happening.
The scheme was started during the administration of former Governor Bukola Saraki and has been on for years. But this is an effort by the current administration to scale up its effectiveness. Rashid, CoreTV News.
Security operatives in Kaduna have killed 3 cattle rustlers in a joint operation and recovered 2,000 cattle and rams in Benin Gwari local government area of the state. The operation involved a raid on the bandits' hideout in Benin Gwari and Damari village on Sunday and in the early morning of Tuesday. No fewer than 9 cattle rustlers were arrested during the operation. Governor Nasser El-Rufai has since commended members of the joint security team and pledged government support for what he described as the new offensive in the northwest against cattle rustling. He added that the joint operation involved 6 states, including Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina, Sokoto, and Niger, which have common borders with the Benin Gwari forest. It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break. Please stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Now, outside Nigeria, polling stations have opened in Burundi's controversial presidential election, with Pierre Nkurunziza widely expected to win a 3rd consecutive term. Shortly before voting started on Tuesday, at least 2 people, a policeman and a civilian, were killed, according to witnesses, in a string of explosions and gunfire in the capital of Bujumbura, the epicenter of 3 months of anti-government protest. Reports say that one of the opposition members was also killed overnight in the city's Yakabiga neighborhood. The incident prompted a big crowd to gather there in protest of the morning. About 3.8 million Burundians are eligible to vote in the polls, which the opposition and civil society groups are boycotting, claiming that it will not be free and fair. The opposition has denounced the candidacy of the incumbent president as unconstitutional and a violation of the 2006 peace deal that ended a dozen years of civil war and ethnic massacres in 2006. The nation's constitutional court has ruled in the president's favor, however maintaining he is eligible for a 3rd term because he was chosen by legislators and not elected for his first term. A long-time Al-Qaeda operative, Al-Fadril, was killed in a U.S. airstrike in early June while traveling near Samada, Syria. He was the leader of a network of Al-Qaeda operatives called the Khorasan Group. Al-Fadril also was involved in terrorist attacks that took place in October 2002, including against U.S. Marines and Felaka Island in Kuwait and on a French ship MV Limbourg. According to Navy Captain Jeff Davis, Al-Qaeda elements in Iran, led by Al-Fadril, are working to move fighters and money through Turkey to support Al-Qaeda's affiliated elements in Syria. Al-Fadril also is leveraging his extensive network to Kuwait jihadist donors to send money to Syria via Turkey. And that's our news for this hour. Thank you so much for watching. Please join us again. I am Gift or Gete. Good evening.